Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Intrix and I'm back again with another Conqueror's Blade video. By request, this time I'm going to be covering the Kevto Cavalry. I have not used this unit at all really since I've gotten it in Season 2. I know that it's gone through a little bit of a rework, just like the Keshiks have, because there was just certain things in their veterancy tree notes that just didn't really work. So they've had a bit of a rework. But how does that play factor? Well, I can't do comparison from Season 2. All I know is that it works better than what it did before. I haven't really used this unit, but because it was requested I do a video about it, I decided to play it and have a better understanding. And as you can see, I've almost maxed the unit out now, and I think I got a good enough understanding of how this unit works, how this unit operates, and I can give a pretty much fair and straight through to the point type of review about this unit. Kevtool is different from Rattan Rangers, so I'm not really going to say that they're like a mini Rattan Rangers. What I will say though is that they are mini nukers, and we will get into that mechanic here very shortly. Yes, they are a melee and range type of unit, but how this unit works compared to Rattan Rangers is very much different. They do have a ranged attack, but that ranged attack is a skilled triggered type of activation type of attack that they have, whereas the Rattan Rangers, they will just shoot from afar, and if they get close they'll switch to melee, and that happens automatically. So going straight into the doctrines here, I've added a health doctrine, I have added a speed doctrine, increases movement speed by 20%. You don't really need to put this on, but I felt like it was necessary. It does mean that when they're following you, they do get kind of jittery because they just move quicker than you do, even when you're sprinting on your horse. But at the end of the day, this will allow them to move quicker in their charges, as well as if you were to just send them away or want them to get out of a situation. So this adds to their sustainability. I've also added the Breakthrough Doctrine, which increases damage dealt to units by 95. This damage buff is going to apply to not only their melee but also to their ranged attacks. So overall, it's a good thing to have. Why damage to units? Because the mini nuke is only situational, and I think it does well. Essentially, you want to clear units as well as you want to kill heroes, but it's really hard to say. I mean, this could be either or. How you play it is really up to you. I've tried it with Breakthrough and I like it, so that's just why I play with Breakthrough. But if you wanted to add the doctrine that does damage to enemy heroes instead, feel free to add that one. I increased piercing defense, and that will allow them to have some better defense. And I've also added piercing damage for the doctrines. So going straight to the Veterancy tree here, I went with the top route. And as you get to elite level, you'll be able to level the bottom notes a couple times. So I can level this 2 more times, I can get some extra health, and I can get some increased piercing damage. So just a quick look at the top tree, and then we'll compare with the bottom tree and why I went with the top tree versus the bottom tree. So right from the get-go, you get increased armor penetration, increases piercing damage, and that's an extra 6%. Increases weapon range by 8%, and what that means is that it's going to give your bow skill the ability to shoot further. Once you get this extra 16%, I would say in comparison, their range with the bows is equivalent to Rattan Rangers, in the sense that they can kind of shoot pretty much that same distance, and if they're shooting at least about mid-range-ish, they're going to hit pretty okay. So moving forward, you get increased rate of attack with their melee by 12%. Now this is pretty huge as well, because they do get increased fire and accuracy by 20%. Once you hit this mark, now you can really start doing some damage with this unit. Increased rate of rate of attack by 12%, reduces charge cooldown by 4 seconds. And as you can see, this is kind of like where they rework some things, because all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, you get 4 seconds, now you get a 7 seconds. Like that, why? What is it? They just put something there because something wasn't working before. And then you get increased damage dealt to infantry by 10%. That is just overall a general buff. Now, this unit here in particular is not really an anti-cav unit. Never was, never will be. It will do fairly well against infantry, and it will do very well against heroes if you're set up or if you set them up in those type of scenarios, in those types of situations. So now we go down to the bottom, you see that you can get additional health, and then you get a little bit of piercing defense. Moving forward, increases slashing defense, reduces range, damage taken by 10%, increases slashing damage up to 6%, reduces charge cooldown by 2 seconds, increases charge damage up to 30%, and reduces charge cooldown by 5 seconds. So why did I choose the top tree? Well, the bottom tree does allow them to be a more tankier type of unit, but I find that this unit doesn't really do that well in charges. You cannot charge this unit hit on into stuff, even with somewhat mild to moderate type of infantry. This unit strictly has to be a strike and gank type of unit if you're using their charge. It is the only way that you're going to be able to do any type of damage, regardless of what tree you go. The bottom tree does allow them to be more of a tankier type of unit and will give them more sustainability. However, being able to take advantage of some extra health and stuff while going with the top tree still makes it nice, and that's why I've also added piercing defense doctrine as well, just to help with their sustainability. And then I rely on the extra speed to give them the ability to get in and out of scenarios, and that helps with their sustainability and staying alive as well. The top tree, you get a shorter cooldown on your charge, which is really huge because the whole point is that you're going to be moving around the map, and you're going to be moving this unit around the map, and you're just basically going to set yourself up for kills. So the shorter your cooldowns, the better. Also, you get better capabilities with your bows, which is going to be a huge thing with this unit. The bow is the mini nuke, and the thing about the bows is that it's going to lock on to a unit that's closest to them, and they all just fire on that unit. This can apply to just a normal troop, or this can apply to a warlord. Now this is where you start having fun. The bow is literally a 20-second cooldown, and there is no ammo that you have to worry about with this unit at all. So you can just keep popping off that bow skill every 20 seconds if you want, and you never have to worry about resupplying that unit. It's great because it does target heroes as well, and it's great because if a unit tries to get away, or if a hero tries to get away, you can pop that within a medium-ish type of range, and with that increased accuracy, they're going to hit, and they do quite well with the damage. Honestly, these bows are quite deadly. So a lot of times in those scenarios where someone's going to get away, you can use this unit to prevent them from getting away. That's why I think that this unit is good and unique in its own sense. They're not too bad when it comes to melee, but even for being like a purple 4-star type of cavalry, I would say that their skirmishing type of fighting abilities is subpar to about the Selmashid cavalry, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So, they're not the greatest type of melee type of fighters, and they're not the greatest type of chargers, but if you set yourself up correctly, and if you line up these charges very well, you're going to do a lot of damage. The whole point is to try to sustain them and keep them out of the fire. That way you're rolling around the map, and as long as you're popping that mini nuke, their bows do an insane amount of damage. Now here's the thing about the bows, is that it doesn't specify how long the bows stay in effect for. From what I can see, I could say roughly anywhere between maybe 6 to 8 seconds or so is when this skill is going to pop off. If you're charging your units, it's very important that you do not pop the bow skill or the bow nuke before you charge them in, because they will not use their swords. That's something that is not said, but that is something that I've noticed. Again, the bow should really be like something more that you're kind of just rolling around the map. It's a very situational type of skill, so it's really up to you how you pop it off. But I can tell you right now that if you're charging into a unit, you're basically screwing your unit by doing so, because it's going to render them useless. As well as, unlike Ratans, these guys just don't really lock on that well with the bow. You kind of got to line them up. So if they're facing away, they're not going to automatically just start pointing at a unit or pointing at a hero and start shooting at them. You got to set them up. Their lines of sight need to be on whatever it is that they're looking at and focusing on. Otherwise, they're just not going to shoot. Other than that, I'd say that this unit is a half-decent unit, although this unit is a unit that if you do not max it out, and I literally mean this, I emphasize that you need to max this unit out to really unlock any potential. Yeah, it's kind of fun here and there to use it at a lower level, but I'm going to be honest that I wasn't really enjoying it until I got to about level 16. Then I could really see the potential in this unit. Before then, I couldn't really see the potential in this unit. So, with that being said, it's not a terrible unit. It is a situational unit, but it is a unit that will totally pick off a hero. And 9 times out of 10, that situation usually works out in my favor. I'm usually able to kind of get those people that try to get away from you. Because let's face it, someone's going to slip through, someone's going to be able to get away, barely any type of health. Why put yourself at risk when you can put this unit out there? And the great thing about it is that once you pop that bow skill, they don't necessarily have to be deep into the danger to get that kill. Their accuracy is not terrible, they do land the shots quite well, and even as it is with this current setup, they do quite a bit of damage with these bows. Like, I'm serious, even a long sword can get torn up. And if you got one running away with a quarter health, these guys are going to clean up quite nicely. So with that being said, that is my review of the Kevtool Cavalry. I don't think it's terrible, but I think that you really got to max the level out and give it a true chance to actually show you what type of unit it is and what it's capable of doing. At the end of the day, it is a situational type of unit, but I think it's one that would do quite well in field battles. Especially field battles, because at the end of the day, if you're knocking the hero out, their units are pretty much useless at that point. So, yeah, that pretty much concludes my video. I hope this review was informative to you. And with that being said, this is Centric signing out. Have a wonderful day, everybody.